back to another episode of Breaking Down the Barriers. My name is Fitz Houston. Today we're getting into vocabulary. You say, vocabulary? Why are we doing vocabulary? I know vocabulary. Well, we're going to make sure you know vocabulary because why is it important to know vocabulary of certain technical on-the-set terms that you need to know before you get to the audition, not the shoot, the audition? Because if the casting person thinks you don't know directions, camera directions, stage directions, if they don't think you understand the right terminology, their thought is, well, man, if they don't know that here, I'm not going to cast them and put them on a set where they're not going to know the right terms and make me look bad as a casting director. I'm not going to cast a person like that because the first thing the director will say, where did you get this actor who doesn't know basic terms? And I'm wasting time saying things over and over on the set and they don't understand what I'm saying. So there'll be a series of these. Even if you have, like I said, some terms you want me to cover, write me on the comments box when you see this episode, and I'll cover whatever. I'm going to try to cover as many as I can think of, and if there's some that I don't think of that you've come across, feel free to ask me. This is part one of camera directions and terms. Now let's say you get to audition. Now some of you who've been doing this a while, you're going to know most of these. And it's a review for those who know it, and those who don't know, pay attention. Okay. First basic thing, of course, is slate. When somebody says slate your name, you go to the audition, they say slate your name. Slate your name is just what it says, your name, not your agent, not all this other information. Now, if they ask you and your agent, then you say your agent's name. But basically, when they say, please slate your name, just say your name. And just showing your best personality, however it is. Please give a nice smile because you don't want to go in and look like you don't want the job. So let your personality show when you slate your name. More and more often now, the casting people slate your name before you even walk in the room, and they'll say, okay, you ready? Okay, action. So be ready for that. Don't get in there going, oh, but I wasn't ready for, I have to slate my name. No. Just be aware that a lot of casting directors are slating your name with their own voice on the camera. So as soon as you walk in, they save time and just say, okay, you ready? Okay, you'll be reading with her. Your eye contact is over here, and then let's go action. And so you just go right into the scene. So just be aware that that's a choice. That's slate. Now, camera directions and stage directions. Now, most of the time on a set, or film set, television set, you will hear camera directions, which means it's from the camera point of view. Now, if the director is a person who works stage and film, sometimes they might go in and out of stage directions, which is from the stage point of view, and camera directions. And so you just need to know both of them very well so that if you hear either one, you don't panic. So let's say, for example, you're facing the camera, of course. Now, if I'm telling you, okay, I need you to move camera right. If you're facing the camera, it's the camera's point of view. So you're moving to your left, which is the cameraman's right. Okay, camera left, camera right is based on the camera point of view. Now, if you're on stage or you're on a set and the person says, I need you to move stage right. Stage point of view means it's the actor's point of view. So now if you're facing me and I say move stage right, you're moving to your right because you're facing me, which is stage direction is stage point of view, camera right is the camera's point of view, just to keep straight which way you're moving. Now, and a lot of times if they'll say move camera right and you move stage right, which is meaning you're moving the opposite direction, that's where it can get a little sticky and they'll start thinking, how trained is this actor? Do they really know the terms? If they don't know the camera right, stage right, excuse me, the difference between those, what else is it they don't know? So we want to make sure that you understand all the terminologies as far as that's concerned. Now, let's say you're on the set and you're doing your scenes. If sometimes a director comes with you with a stage direction that you don't understand, and they ask you, do you understand? Don't go, yeah, I got it. And then to yourself you go, what do you mean by that? That's a kiss of death, because that means when he says action, you're not going to do anything he just told you because you didn't understand it. If he's the best way now, even though it may sound like it's, sometimes directors are very deep, and they don't realize they're being very deep and have a little problem communicating with the actors what they actually want. So the way you mask that is if they tell you a stage direction that you don't really understand what they're getting at, give them a repeat like, oh, so you mean like if I do blah 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 blah? Oh, exactly, that's what I want. If you're off when you mean like blah blah blah, I mean you want me to do this? No, not like that. I need you to do this. Now, once you do your version of the repeat of their direction, and if you need some adjustments from that, they're more apt to understand. Well, no, actually, and they give you more detailed breakdown of what it is they want, which is to your advantage. But never automatically just say, I can't let them know I don't understand what you're saying. I'm just yeah, I got it, and then you go and mess up, and now they're complaining about what kind of actor is this that can't follow directions, because when you can't follow directions, it is the fact that you didn't understand the directions. So you have the perfect right about to go into a scene to make sure you understand what it is you're about to do. So that's something very key to keep in mind on the set. Another one. Now, there's some terms that in the process of doing the actual scene or the shoot or monologue even, you'll get different terms which are telling you how they want you to speak or not speak, or how they want to adjust you. Let me give you an example. If you're doing your scene, I go, you know what, you guys need to pick up the pace. This is way too slow. Now, a lot of people misunderstand pace to mean speed. They're not asking you to talk faster. If two actors are talking back and forth and a train is going through their lines because one actor says something and it feels like ho 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 ho, and then the other actor says something, pick up the pace means you know what, you guys got to pick up the pace. It's too much of a space between your reactions to each other. So don't speed up your talking and keep the space the same. You want to shorten the distance of your responses to each other, which actually picks up the pace of the whole scene. And now if you're talking too slow or too fast, they'll actually say that. Now, I'm a naturally fast talker, so for me, I actually have to, in my mind, make myself feel like I'm talking very slow. For example, right now as I'm saying this line to you right now, I feel like I'm walking through mud and talking incredibly slow at this speed right now, because I naturally talk much faster than I'm talking right now. So I had to train myself to understand when somebody says, Fitz, that was really great, do everything you just did, but just slow down. and to me, I felt natural because I'm a natural fast talker. So when I understood what he said, keep everything you just did, but slow down. Once I did the next take and I did slow down the way I was directed, I remembered how that felt in terms of how I felt like I was walking through mud. But now, every time I do a scene, I try to keep in touch with that feeling of walking through the mud, as far as I'm concerned, to be a check mark for me to make sure I'm not talking too fast. And so these are directions, and in that case, the director outright says, slow down. so if you're talking too fast, the direction will be slow down. Pick up the pace means the pacing of the scene is too slow. If you're an actor is doing a piece of business and you're to enter into the scene, but you enter a little bit too soon, they say, I need you to take a beat. Give me 2 more beats. All a beat basically is almost what it says. If they tell you you came in 2 beats too early, give yourself 2 beats and then come in. Well, if you know your cue line, it's almost like saying seconds in your head. 1001, 1002. Okay, go. Because the beats is really just remembering what you did before, and they say, you know what, that's a little bit too soon. Take 2 more beats and then come in. So the beat is really a count in your head to understand when to enter the room, as far as if it's an entrance. Sometimes if it's a scene and you're actually already in the scene, I need you to take a little bit 2 more beats before you say that line, because I, as a cameraman, might be zooming up. I may be starting on the table and zooming up to your face, and I want your line to come as I zoom up to your face. But if you start At action, you're saying your lines while the camera's still on the table. So I need you to take a few more beats before you say the line to allow me time to tilt up onto your face. Then you start your lines. So that's what beats are basically, in terms of just giving an imaginary count in your head to take longer or whatever amount of time to do whatever it is you need to do or what the camera needs to do, either direction. Okay, moment. Now you're in the scene. If you said no, and somebody says something very emotional to you, and the director says, you know, I need you to take a moment and really take in what he just said. Take that moment. That moment is, for example, if you're in a nice, happy mood and somebody insults you, as in real life, somebody insults you, you've got to let that hit you before you automatically say the next line. So if somebody insults you, it's like, what? I don't understand you. See, a moment is an internalization of whatever transition is happening to you when somebody says something to you or that's going on within you in a change of thought. If you rush a moment, audience members completely can miss it, because even though you thought it, you didn't give it enough time for the viewer to see there was a transition in your thought that took you to a different emotional place. So you don't want to rush moments. You want to have in a monologue or a scene several moments. Don't rush the moments, because you're feeling natural because you know the scene very well. And the habit is sometimes because you know the scene so well, you rush your moments and they're feeling natural to you because you know them like the back of your hand. But you're too quick with the moments, and so therefore the viewer is missing a lot of the emotional transitions that you're dealing with, because they simply don't see them because you didn't give it enough time to internalize it and then go on. If you think about it this way, somebody says something to you, if it hits you, what? If something that hit me strange. In your mind, you know, and then really you got to practice when you rehearse this and practice this on your own. You're really taking the time of letting things touch you and then respond to it. That's really what's happening. It's not a thing where you're going, somebody says something to you, you go like, I've got to internalize this. How am I feeling? You know what I'm saying? No, you're not saying anything like that. But in actuality, you're saying that in your mind, but you're not saying it in terms of so detailed that it's throwing your pacing off, because it's really just being a real reaction as you would in real life. If somebody says something that dazes you or throws you off, you actually go, whoa, what? Why'd you say it like that? You know, I'm taking a moment to, that kind of shocked me. Now, how come you say it like that? Now, it shocked me, and now I'm curious to find out why you said that. See, so those are different moments within to let you have some emotional life, because if you don't have emotional life, the viewer doesn't care about you, and they go into the Z zone until the next person comes in the scene, because they're not following you and you've lost them, and you don't want to lose them, because that's the key to being called back. When people have charisma or that certain thing, we always call it the thing. Thing means something about you is so into your emotions, and we were really following you, and we just lock into everything you're doing. We feel what you feel, and we laugh with you, we cry with you. That means your emotional connection to everything you're going through with all your transitions, the audience is going right with you because they're feeling everything you're doing, and that's what the thing, so to speak, is really called. When people are really locked into that, they're a joy to watch perform. That's why we enjoy it, because they're taking us on the journey, and you think about that, that's the way it's going to be. So basically that's what we're covering in today's episode. I'll be getting some other terms together and come back for camera terms and definitions, part 2. But right now, this is part 1 starting out, so I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, if you have any terms you specifically want to cover, any things that you've come in contact with that you didn't understand, hit me on the comment box, and I'll do an episode on it and try to cover it. Alright? Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Fitz Houston, breaking down the barriers. I see you next time. God bless.